Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a wonderful week like always. Today is the day that I will finally be listening to my very first Jackson 5 album. And what better album to start off my Jackson 5 discography journey than their Christmas album? It is December, and some of you requested that I listen to their Christmas album, which I wasn't expecting to do, but you know what? I managed to find some time to squeeze this album in. So that's what I'm doing today. I will be listening to this album for the first time. And this is the Jackson 5's fourth studio album and their first ever Christmas album. And this year, the album is celebrating its 50th anniversary. It was released all the way back in October of 1970. Now, as to when I'll be doing the rest of the Jackson 5 albums, I don't know, hopefully in the new year. I will also say that this album was released in 1970, so Michael Jackson was only 12 years old. This album was also released just a year before Michael Jackson would release his solo debut album in January of 1972. I am looking at the track list and there are 11 songs on the album. The album is 34 minutes, and the only song I recall hearing is track number 11, I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, and all the other songs are brand new to me, but like always, if I start listening to a song and it sounds familiar, I'll let you guys know. So enough talking, let's get into the first song. Track number 1, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
Yourself a merry little Christmas. A merry little Christmas. We wish you, yes we do. Merry Christmas and a happy new year. Merry Christmas and a happy new year.
Alrighty, that was track number 1, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And I really enjoyed this track. I typically don't like variations of the song Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. I typically don't like when other people sing this song because the only version of this song that I really enjoy is Judy Garland's version, and that's the only version I ever go back to. It's the be all end all version, but this version I really did enjoy. I like the change up towards the end where they go from singing Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas to singing We Wish You a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I thought that was fun. I also liked how this version of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas was a bit more cheerful than I'm used to. Whenever an artist covers this song, it tends to be a bit more somber. But this was a lot more fun and cheerful. Now, the song Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas is from 1943, and it was originally introduced by Judy Garland in the 1944 MGM musical Meet Me in St. Louis. What I also liked about the song were all the harmonies, which was absolutely beautiful to listen to. So now we're gonna move on to track number 2, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I've heard this before. Alrighty, that was track number 2, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and you saw for yourself, I was rocking out to some Jackson 5, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and yes, I've heard this version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town before. For anybody who's been in the mall, obviously most people have, walking into stores during the holiday season, department stores or what have you, this song more often than not would have played at some point, and I remember hearing this song quite a bit in the malls. It says here that the earliest known recorded version of the song was by banjoist Harry Reeser and his band on October of 1934. And it does say here that the only single released from the Jackson 5 Christmas album was Santa Claus is Coming to Town. The Jackson 5 Christmas album has been hailed by many as one of the best holiday albums. So now let's move on to track number 3, The Christmas Song.
Merry Christmas. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Bringing lots of toys and goodies on display. Many times, many ways. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas.
Alrighty, that was track number 3 in the Christmas song, and this was never one of my favorite Christmas songs, but I did like the Jackson 5's version. Once again, it's a very cheerful version of the song. Whenever I do hear this song on other Christmas albums, once again, just like track number 1, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, it always tends to be a bit more somber and slower and not boring, but just tends to be just really, I guess, somber. Somber is the best word I can use to describe all the other times I hear this song. But this version of the song is much more cheerful, and it's a nice change up from the norm. I also like how towards the end of the song, Michael starts singing Jingle Bells, Jingle All the Way. So that was another nice transition there that I wasn't expecting. So now let's move on to track number 4, Up on the Housetop. I don't remember the last time I heard this Christmas song. It's been so long.
Mike, that just was only a joke. Too late to read these bringing your mistletoe. Love and peace for everyone. Stop bringing spring under the chimney, singing.
Okay, that was track number 4, Up on the Housetop, and I love how the Jackson 5 are really making these songs their own and changing them up, adding lyrics and putting their own spins on the songs and adding their personalities and bits of dialogue into these songs. It's really fun. I like this part right here. Did you read Santa Claus My List? All the girls you're waiting to kiss? Mike, that list was only a joke. Too late, Jermaine. He's bringing you mistletoe, but you just want toys and stuff. Yeah, but that's not even half enough. What I want means more than fun. What's that? Love and peace for everyone. Now, this is a Christmas song that was written back in 1864. Can I also say that I'm really enjoying the production on this album? All the instruments and the harmonies. This is my very first Jackson 5 album, so I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, but I'm having a blast. So now let's move on to track number 5, Frosty the Snowman.
Frosty the Snowman was a jolly happy soul. And the kids all say he could laugh and play just the same as you and me. What a traffic cop.
Who's singing that part?
But he waved goodbye, saying, "Don't you cry, I'll be back again someday."
Okay, that was track number 5, Frosty the Snowman, and this is making me want to go outside right now and build a snowman. I don't remember the last time I built a snowman 20 years ago. I have no idea. But I liked this version of Frosty the Snowman. Of course, it's the Jackson 5, and this isn't a song I hear a lot during the holiday seasons, surprisingly. But it's nice to listen to because it takes me back to my childhood, and I liked it. I will say though, there are parts of the song where we have a gentleman singing parts of the song, but he has a very deep voice, and I don't know who it is. I won't lie, he kind of does sound like Vincent Price. It says here that the song was first recorded by Gene Autry and the Cass County Boys in 1950. And in case you're curious, I am going to show you my ugly Christmas sweater. I do this in every one of my videos where I wear this because I think it's a lot of fun. It's Santa Claus and he's ripping apart the gingerbread man and you're a monster. It's a lot of fun and I always get compliments on it. So now let's move on to track number 6, Little Drummer Boy.
They told me for up our finest gifts we bring for on my cross, and you get time for then he smiled at me for
Alrighty, that was track number 6, Little Drummer Boy, and this was a nice classic rendition of the song. And it was nice to listen to, but my favorite version of this song will always be Josh Groban's version from his Noel album. I will also say that Little Drummer Boy is one of my favorite Christmas songs of all time. It says here that Little Drummer Boy was originally known as Carol of the Drum, which, okay, I had no idea. And the song was written by the American classical music composer and teacher Catherine Kennicott Davis in 1941. So now let's move on to track number 7, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
You know, there's Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, and Vixen. Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shining nose. Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Hey, Rudolph. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you were not in history.
Okay, that was track number 7, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and once again, I like how they kind of put their own spin on the song and made it their own, and I'm not too familiar with the voices of the Jackson 5, so I don't really know how to differentiate their voices yet, except for Michael's. This is probably my favorite children's Christmas song. Obviously, a lot of adults listen to this song as well, but this is one of those Christmas songs that a lot of kids listen to. I know that this was probably one of the very first Christmas songs I ever heard, so out of all the other children's Christmas songs like Frosty the Snowman and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, this one is probably my favorite. It says here that the song was originally written by Johnny Marks and it was based on the 1939 story Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Oh, I didn't know that this song was actually based on a story. However, I have seen the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer stop motion television special that plays every year during Christmas from 1964. I absolutely love those classic holiday stop motion movies that play every year that were released around, I don't know, the 1960s. In particular, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. That one is probably my favorite out of the bunch. That's another children's Christmas song that I really enjoy, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. So now let's move on to track number 8, Christmas Won't Be the Same This Year.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. Big deal.
Hey, man, what's wrong with you, Jermaine?
He and this girl just broke up.
Yeah, he's
Aww.
Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Christmas won't be the same this year without her loving arms.
The neighborhood kids are having so much fun, counting off the days.
Christmas won't be
No,
the same
no,
this year without her loving arms.
no, no.
Okay, and that was track number 8. Christmas Won't Be the Same This Year. I wonder if this is an original Jackson 5 song. I've never heard this Christmas song before, and I like the beginning of the song where there is this story taking place with Jermaine, and he just broke up with his girl, and he's sad. Can't you see there's tears in his eyes? Yeah, he's crying. And that's why he's being a Grinch right now. And he's saying, Merry Christmas, big deal. Our house is decorated. My friends are celebrating. Christmas won't be the same this year. And Christmas is such a beautiful time of the year, but it's also a very difficult time of the year for many reasons for many people. And one of the reasons is that a lot of family members can't come together during this specific time, especially this year in 2020, but any other year as well. And a lot of people do go through a lot of hardships during the holidays, especially during a time that's so happy and you're supposed to be in love, everything's supposed to be so cheerful. So when you're not around the person you love, or maybe you just broke up with someone, it is pretty difficult. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I did like the story that was being told in it. So now let's move on to track number 9, Give Love on Christmas Day.
I need special to be kind to one and all. Why don't you give love Christmas Day?
I've heard this song before.
Everywhere there's an air of Christmas joy. Why don't you give love on Christmas Day?
Already, that was track number 9, Give Love on Christmas Day. And yes, I do recall hearing this song before. It was one of those songs I heard when I was in the malls. And when I was working various retail jobs, I remember hearing this song at my workplace as well. This song just made me really warm inside. I can't really explain it, but this whole album is making me feel loved. It's making me feel, I don't know, it's definitely getting me in the holiday spirit. It's just making me warm inside. I can't really explain it. And I like the lyrics. It says here, why don't you give love on Christmas Day? The man on the street and the couple upstairs all need to know there's someone who cares. Give love on Christmas Day. No greater gift is there than love. And this is such a special song because Christmas time is filled with so much materialism and consumerism, and we're always so worried about getting that special gift for someone and running out on a Black Friday and Boxing Day, running out to the stores to get the good deals on the gifts, that we forget to just give love to people in our life, to say I love you, and to just be around those we love. To me, that's more than enough than getting the most expensive gift in the world or getting some random gift I'll never use, some random pair of socks or some electronic that, yes, I do appreciate, but to me, Christmas time is about the traditional values of just spending time with family and getting together. Just being around me and telling me how much they love me is more than enough. I will say though, yes, I do appreciate it if you tell me that you love me and you spend time with me around the holidays, around Christmas, but I also don't mind if you get me that new iPhone as well. So hey, if you want to do that, I'm not complaining. So now we're gonna move on to track number 10, Someday at Christmas.
Someday at Christmas, we'll be boys, play with moms like kids play with toys. There'll be no wars when we have learned what Christmas is for. No more hungry children, no you dare. One happy morning people will share.
Someday all our dreams will come to me.
Okay, that was track number 10, Someday at Christmas, and this is a very meaningful song. They're saying, someday at Christmas, men won't be boys, playing with bombs like kids play with toys. One warm December, our hearts will see a world where men are free. So they are hoping for and dreaming for a day when there won't be any wars and men are free. But they're also saying maybe not in time for you and me. So it might not happen during their time, but one day, hopefully, decades from now, and when I say decades from now, I'm saying now in the sense that it's 1970. Decades from now, one day, hopefully, there won't be any wars and men one day will be free. With no hungry children, no empty hands, hate will be gone and love will prevail. I will say though, it's a little eerie that Michael in particular is singing about the hungry children because this is something he sings about on his future solo albums. He sings about the children making the world a better place and hoping that one day there won't be any hungry children. So this has been a constant theme throughout all of Michael's music since the very beginning, even in the Jackson 5. It says here that the song was originally sung by Stevie Wonder from his first Christmas album in 1967, which I did know about. I've actually never heard the song before. So we have come to the end of the album, track number 11, I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus.
Wow! Mommy's kissing Santa Claus! So mommy kissing Santa Claus. I really did see mommy kissing Santa Claus.
You did?
I'm gonna tell my dad.
This is a very interesting transition. Aw, poor Michael, no one believes you. Alrighty, that was track number 11, I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, and I always enjoy listening to this song. The first time I heard it was at my retail job. I don't remember the year. I don't know, the early 2010s, and I remember hearing this song for the first time, and I just thought it was some random child singing the song, but that last note of the song, that long, drawn-out note by Michael at the very end, always took my breath away. Who is this child who can sing that note? I was shook the first time I heard it, and I actually didn't find out till recently as in earlier this year, that the song was sung by Michael Jackson from the Jackson 5. So I went so many years without knowing that it was Michael Jackson from the Jackson 5 singing the song. There is a scandal in the Jackson house. Mommy kissing Santa. Could you imagine if you came home and you saw your wife kissing Santa Claus on OnlyFans? Wow. I also like how at the end of the song, he's trying to convince everyone that he's telling the truth. Come on, fellas, believe me, you just gotta believe me. And most kids experience this growing up. Adults typically won't listen to you. Not all the time. Sometimes they do, but more often than not, they don't. And you try to convince them that what you saw was true. But the adults are always like, nope, you're wrong, or they don't pay you any mind. And you just have to work extra hard to try and convince your parents that you're right. It says here that the song was originally recorded by Jimmy Boyd in 1952, but the most famous cover was from the Jackson 5. So that is all 11 tracks of the Jackson 5 Christmas album, and I really enjoyed this Christmas album. It was my very first Jackson 5 album that I've ever listened to in my life, and I really enjoyed it. This is getting me excited to listen to the rest of their discography, and this is a very consistent Christmas album. There are a couple tracks on here that I probably wouldn't listen to again, but overall, it's a very solid Christmas album, and I like how they made it original and they changed things up with the lyrics. They added their personalities and some extra dialogue and lyrics, and the production was nice, and the harmonies and the instruments, and It's a very classic sounding Christmas album from 1970. It's also a very cheerful Christmas album as well, which I'm not used to. I find a lot of Christmas albums to be a bit more, not somber, but they're a bit more sentimental and slow and emotional. Whereas this, it does have elements of that, but it's definitely more cheerful and kid friendly and upbeat. So, what did you guys think of this Christmas album? And what songs from the album are your favorites? And I think that's all I wanted to say on the album. I really enjoy myself. You saw for yourself, and 2 thumbs up from me. Now, when I do officially start my Jackson 5 discography journey, hopefully sometime in 2021, I will be starting with their very first album from 1969, and it's called Diana Ross Presents the Jackson 5. So look out for that video sometime in the new year, and thanks for watching, guys. You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Twitter, you can message me, you can tell me other artists I should check out. I'm open to any artists from any decade. You can find me on Apple Music, and you can check out my playlist. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.